Late nights, early mornings, we stay interested in going to bed or wake up yawning. Go ahead and listen in. Even all day long, they still be watching on their computers and their phones. They stay locked in. It's that Bilingual Podcast where we talking with Big Mo and Platinum Cash.
Woo! That's the new intro.
We got some new music, baby.
Thank y'all for tuning in to the Bilingual Podcast. My voice is gone. It's in and out. With your host, Big Mo, me, Platinum Cash. We got another great show for y'all tonight on this Bipolar Sunday, October 17th here in Portland. Best time of the year is the show for y'all today. We got an hour and a half, so let's get right into it. Big Mo, how was your week?
Like any other week. It was super chill. The wife is in New York this week, so I've been really just kind of just relaxing, man. You know that, like, it doesn't, and that doesn't mean that, I don't miss her or whatnot. It's just, you're kind of in a different vibe when it's just you. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't cook anything this week, and it's just kind of been a different week, bro. But I also didn't eat out a lot. Like, I didn't eat much at all this week. Usually when she's here, I'm kind of like forced to eat because I'm not a big eater. But yeah, no, it's kind of been chill. I don't even know when she come back. So, so I probably should have asked her that today. But yeah, I probably should have asked her when I talked to her today. But yeah, no, it's kind of been chill.
That's it? Nothing else?
Nothing, man. Been watching sports, catching up. That's about it, bro. It's been a good week. Productive.
Yeah, it's been my week has been like today. Bipolar. It was a bipolar week. A lot of ups and downs, a lot of mood changing issues and deals, but welcome to the life. A lot of girls. So it's just a lot of stuff happening. We did get to see our guys, some of the kids on our team play this weekend. It actually was good to go see them in competition, especially some of the guys I haven't seen at the open gyms and things we've had. So it was good to see them play. A lot of pluses. Definitely going to be some negatives, but like you said when we were talking the other night, we can't get mad at kids because of how they were coached before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So elaborate more into that, and just a little bit more on how the guys were playing this weekend.
I think for me, you kind of the longer you coach, the more you kind of learn from others, if that makes sense. But you also just start to understand your own style as well. And when I took over the St. Helens program 4 years ago, I went in and I had these big aspirations, right? Like it was like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. But then that group of kids just wasn't coached, right? Like, and what I mean by that is they weren't taught to dribble properly, they weren't taught to jump stop, they weren't taught just all of the small intangible things that I was taught at a super young age, right? And I think this time around, my mental mindset is different, right? Don't get me wrong, I went in with big hopes, but I think day one, I was able to immediately kind of change that mental mindset instantly compared to being bothered or upset, right? And I'm big on when I see kids not using the proper footwork or can't pass a ball, and you're a high school athlete, you're not at fault at all, right? Just because you haven't been taught the proper technique on passing a basketball or shooting a basketball or hell, even being able to play defense. That is not it's not on the kid 100%, right? I think too many times we like to look at the kid and say, oh man, they're no good or whatnot, but it's also a lot of their coaches and stuff that they've grown up with did not teach them the proper technique or the proper etiquette of hoops. And I've kind of like built that mental mindset versus saying, the kid's not good enough, right? And don't get me wrong, in some cases kids aren't good enough, period.
Yeah.
But I do think, for a lot of the kids that are super talented, if you ask them to do something fundamentals, they can't do it, which I find that like crazy, right?
Yeah, it's elementary.
Because they've skipped the fundamental aspect of the
Yep.
game and they've went immediately to, how can I be a star player? Which,
But
you
I
know,
also look at it like this: a lot of these kids, even if they are taught, the right fundamentals,
mhm.
some of them don't apply it. They don't go and when you get
Yeah,
into the gym, let me
yeah.
get the fundamentals in. It's more of, let me do this, let me get these dribbles, this move, this, get these threes up.
I'll give kids, probably 10-15% of the blame, right?
Hmm.
And the reason why I say that is, yes, you're right. They want to go in the gym on their own and get threes and stuff up. But what are you doing in practices as a coach to make sure that you're drilling that fundamentals in their head,
Hmm.
right? So it's I just think about the program we left, how it's funny because when you coach them and then you go and you coach other kids from other programs and clubs and stuff like that,
Hmm.
you really do realize how much far along your guys are fundamentally, right? Being able to jump stop or even if they don't have great decision makers, because I feel like this program I have far better decision makers than I had in my last program, but those kids became 3 years of fundamentals,
Yeah.
right? Like they get the basics of basketball, and I think that's so important to have. But not all programs teach it, right? Like I think coaches feel that you can say the high school coaches blame it on the AAU, you can say AAU blame it on the high school coaches,
Hmm.
right? Instead of coming together and saying how can we make this kid better?
Or just coach both.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, right? Like no one really has to answer. Kids feel uh they feel they get more exposure
Hmm.
when they go and play club basketball. High school coaches feel the kid is not being taught correctly, right? So I do think that high school coaches should do more. I do feel that way.
Well, yeah, I
And
do. But
and
if you're looking at it, AAU ain't for you to be working on your fundamentals. That's for you to be working on other skills
it's
that
off
can
season
separate
though,
you.
right? It's off season. So what would you consider AAU to be for? Because understand it's off season, right? So
No,
off
I
season,
understand
you
it's off
want
season.
kids getting better at their weakness or their development areas, let alone weakness, right?
Well,
Because
you're
you can
always
point
wanting
out
to
anything.
develop them. You're always want to develop the kids. But I'm saying I feel like if you're in a season, you're off season, which is I'm saying from if you're not in the sport
Hmm.
in the
Hmm.
fall, you're working on all those things then with your
Hmm.
coaches and staff, and then into the high school, you're working on those fundamentals. You always like anything in the pros, you're still always working on fundamentals no matter what.
You should, but I don't think anyone
But I'm
emphasized
talking
it
about
enough.
like how we work on the fundamentals now. You don't have the
Mhm.
time in the week with AAU to be putting all that time into that. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but if you take, I mean, if every coach, regardless, take high school or AAU out the equation, if every coach spends 15 minutes of their day, you know, of an hour and a half workout, and that can be your warm ups on fundamentals, doesn't matter what it is. I guarantee that kid will be that much more further along. But also, that kid would also understand what they need to work on when they're off the court, other than those three balls that you watch when you walk in the gym and that's all they're shooting.
I mean, like what was it? One of the college coaches that said these trainers all they're teaching them is this and this, and they're not working on the fundamentals and the
Hmm.
basics. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
So these
yeah.
kids are going to these workouts,
Hmm.
paying these trainers all this money,
Hmm.
and they're skipping the main point.
But you got to understand though, they're going to trainers that aren't certified trainers, right?
Mm.
It's easy for anyone that has the smallest basketball skill set to be called the trainer, right? And if coaching hasn't taught me, even if I sit back and I think about my playing days and then I think about coaching, if it haven't taught me anything, it taught me that fundamentals get you way further than um, you know athleticism, if you ask me, because you got some super athletic kids,
Hmm.
but they can't dribble a ball, right?
Yeah.
That's a problem, right? Or you have those super athletic kids and they can't box out, right? They rely on their athleticism, and then when you meet somebody equally as good as you,
But got the
it's,
fundamentals.
that has the fundamentals, you are
Hmm.
really in trouble at that point, right?
Hmm.
I just think, I get why some of these kids are going to people that are so-called trainers, but I think those trainers need to go back and look at, get off of YouTube, get off of TikTok, and read a book,
Go down to the bare minimums and to break it
right?
down.
Read a book. But I think when I was talking to HD, I feel the basics of everything should be USA basketball curriculums. I feel that should be the basics
For
of
everything, yeah.
all
Well, everything's
sports.
ran off through that anyway,
And
supposedly.
but US doesn't have that basics, right? Like it's not mandatory that you're USAB certified. It's not mandatory that you learn those USAB fundamentals. But I do feel that we would go so much further along, not only as a team, but as a program, as a country, if every coach that had to touch kids from a basketball perspective had those basic fundamental skills.
Do you think, since you said that there's just a over an abundance of trainers,
I
like
think
everybody that played at some point in basketball is like, I'm a
mhm.
trainer now.
I think
I'm not
there's
saying
a
everybody, but a lot of people.
I
Let's put
think
it that way.
there's a lot of people that are just trying to find a way to make funds, and that's one of the things so that they can
Okay.
make another source of income.
But do you think there should be a certification for everybody that's a trainer? Like, you think they should have some kind of schooling or some
I d-
kind of
I don't think so, but I do think there should be two types, right? Like you have people that do things under the table, right?
hmm
Because they don't want to report things to the government, right?
yeah,
And then you have people that do things the right way, right? I do think that there should be two. There should be some sort of certification, because then you know that as a parent you're going to a certified trainer or not, right?
true.
Just like you can go to NFHS and look me up or you up or anything like
hmm
that, and it shows everything that we've taken, right? To all of the classes and stuff we have to take to become a basketball coach, right?
Yeah,
So I do think that would be super great, because I've had parents to reach out and say, "Hey, do you have a trainer that you would recommend?" Right? And I personally won't. There's one person I recommend. He moved to Idaho,
hmm
but there's not a lot of trainers that I physically would recommend to parents, right? And that would be something really good to go. Like, hey, go to this website. It's a list of certified trainers, right? Like, and
yeah,
again, these are people that has taken specific classes that's going to teach your kids specific things, not a YouTube video.
gotcha. I think they also need to have some kind of it would as you look as a professional trainer,
Mhm,
those
mhm.
trainers have knowledge in a lot of different things, nutrition, um, muscles, different things like that, just in case something happens. You never know. So
And
you're
it
working these kids out,
mhm,
you're pushing them to a certain extent, or you're
mhm,
making them do these certain drills.
mhm.
You need to know the outcome of their body and how it's going to break down.
And the real trainers do have that, right? Like,
Yeah,
let's be honest, the trainers that you're gonna spend, high five figures,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
to
yeah.
low six figures, right? Those trainers that are training our professional athletes, they do have that, right? Or even our college, or even our amateur athletes from a college level,
But I'm not
or
saying not all the way on that level, but a
but just
basis
all the
of
way
it.
down to the youth level. Yeah, no, I do think so because I think it's super important. Um, that rest and recovery happens. Like being a coach, I mean, how many times I've counsel practice or we start out sluggish and I'm like, everybody go home, right? Because you can look at your kids as a coach and see, oh, today's not going to be a good day. We should probably rest. So I don't know. I don't have the answer to the youth level, but I do. I'm not going to say it's too many trainers. I'm not going to say it's not enough. I just think the right
Base.
qualifications or the right base, right? What are our trainers teaching our kids? I think that's the important thing. Even, I've been interviewing for youth positions this week, right? Girls
Hmm.
and boys. I've been talking to random people, because my youth president wants me to interview them, right? And as I even talked to some of them, some of them are dads, right? They've just been asked to step in, um, but I don't even think that we even do anything for youth basketball, right? You need to take these trainings
Hmm.
to be a youth
Yeah, it's just
coach.
usually your dad
Um,
or
and
somebody
and I
steps
just think,
in
yeah, and I just think we just need to get better there. Even a lot of the
just because
tournaments,
they can't find coaches.
yeah, okay, you can't find coaches, but even if that dad
Oh
steps
man,
up,
they have them take some
let's
classes
put them online and hey, let's have you just take this.
and attend a couple of our
Mhm.
high school practices, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on your program, right?
Yeah.
Because not all high school coaches want that. Not saying I'm not one of them, but it depends on your program. But
Yeah.
I do think there should be some sort of base. I even think Friday night I went to the football game just really quick for a half,
Hmm.
and I met like the dance coach, right? And she was like, "Hey, do you mind having a 30? We're gonna be dancing on the sidelines this year, and none of my girls know anything about basketball. Do you mind having a 30-minute session with us to teach us just the basics?" But so you do have people that want to learn.
Yeah.
You just and people always say, "Well, there's stuff out there, right?" Yeah, there is, but there's a lot of stuff out there that is bad stuff, bro. So I think it's a mix. And I don't have the solution for it. I just know that this is the second program that I've taken over, and it's the second program that I've seen we're lacking fundamentals. But everyone wants to shoot the three ball, but we can't pass the ball, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
You want to know what I thought was cool is AB had mentioned to me that his team, like a rest and recovery day, they're going to do yoga.
Mm,
I thought that was actually a pretty cool idea because you're resting, but you're also making sure you're stretching
hmm.
and your body is still staying, relaxed and everything. So I thought that was a cool idea
Yeah.
to implement that.
Yeah. No, that's all of those other things that you don't think about it is pretty legit, right? That a lot of people don't think about. But and that's every sport. It's not just I know we're just talking basketball, but that's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
every sport across the board. Like it's so important that we have the right people um involved, right? There's a lot of people that want to get involved and they don't know how to.
hmm,
But then there's also a lot of people that are involved that they haven't had the trainings, right? And it should be the exact same thing for people that don't want to be a high school official, but want to officiate on the weekends to make some extra money,
hmm,
officiate these youth games and stuff like that.
yeah.
They should be taking a basic referee classes, right? Those
To
are
know the
offered,
rules.
right? But not only know the rules because high school coaches screw up. I mean, high school refs screw up as well. Same as
Hmm.
college, same as
Hmm.
NBA.
Everybody, yeah.
Everybody have their moments, but I do think it's important to just have those basics, right? And like even the league that we're in, or that we play, yesterday, those refs weren't the best. But I just felt that if they
But it's
just
actually
had
probably good for them to not have the good refs. Just see how they really
it,
act.
it is yes and no, because it also can lead to injuries. It can lead to a
Yeah,
lot of
that
other
too.
stuff as well.
Yeah.
So yes and no. I always feel the game is going to be played based on the officials that you have in the game, not based on your team. Because if you have really bad refs, it's a high chance that someone's going to get hurt or things are going to
Fight or
go
something.
bad,
Yeah.
right? Like versus if you have something good.
Oof. Well, that's some basketball talk. Rest of my week this hence is why I am not having any kind of alcohol beverage today. Is we went to the La Russell concert last night. I had a good time. It was a good vibe. Good vibe up in the concert. Shout out to the venue, by the way, here in Beaverton. Shout out to the Reeser, like Reeser Stadium. And I just went to the Reeser venue in downtown Beaverton. Shout out to them. And my girl for hooking me up with all them wines, which was probably the worst idea ever. Never doing it again, but thank you though. Uh, that's why I don't drink wine like that. Now I know. and I'm not doing it again. But it was a fun time. Good show. A lot of good music. Then I had some drinks at the spot afterwards where this dude rode through. So it was good. Good. We got our Halloween bash coming up here this Saturday. So I am in the process of getting my house in order.
That garage is getting bigger and bigger with junk.
Junk?
You know, I'm not a big Halloween person.
Oh, man.
Man.
This ain't junk. This was up last week. I just had my guy over here sitting in my chair.
You know why I'm not a Halloween person? I think because when I was a kid, we would get eggs trying to go trick-or-treating. The older kids would come and throw eggs at us. You know, that's not fun, by the way. Now that I think about it.
Just because the older kids used to throw eggs at you, then you got old and you started throwing eggs at the little kids.
Nah. I don't. I never did. I never partaked in that stuff. But I don't know. I'm not a big Halloween person.
Yeah, Halloween's my holiday.
Yeah, I know.
If it is one.
Yep, you rocking your little raccoon cap today. Want to talk about that?
This is my new hat. Like it. Got my tail and everything, man.
That fur. I'm just thinking about, like, if you had that fur near my sister, boy, she would lose it.
Why?
She don't do fur, bro.
Oh, she got the ickies when she touches stuff.
She don't do fur. No, she ain't got no. She don't touch it. She don't do fur.
Oh, that's like Jenny when she touched that one of them different towels or something. I'm like, why'd you touch it then? If you're the one that don't like touching it, why would you touch it?
Yeah,
just to make it. Anyway, so yeah, I'm in the process of getting this all together. It's gonna take a whole week to turn this into a haunted music award show party. It's gonna be interesting.
Nothing wrong with that.
So anybody want to donate time? It's always needed. Man,
always something.
Man, yeah. In the news. I'm not gonna go. I'm saving the big for last because I already know what happened this weekend. A lot of stuff happened. Real quick, in the news in Georgia, 33-year-old man drove a semi truck. A 33-year-old man named Kane Hammock drove a semi truck into the back of a van because he was following them too close and crashed into them, killing 8 people.
I saw
3 adults and 5 kids. And then it was like a 6-car pileup. Why are you following close in a semi? Just period. I'm trying to figure him.
That's the reports, right? The reports say but define close, right? 1 car length, 2.
Well, they had the video.
But I also tell people don't ride in the right lane if you don't have to. It is fire trucks and oncoming traffic. That's an unfortunate situation. I also, what type of van was it?
I believe it was.
Was it a 12-passenger van?
No, it was like an 8 or 9. It was just one of those smaller.
So they had the max amount of people.
Yeah, it was fully packed. Yep.
Yeah, I don't have a lot on that one, man. That's an unfortunate situation, right?
Yeah, they don't have anything quite yet. He hasn't gone to court, so in the process of. He's got a lot of charges.
What are they charging him for though?
They're charging him with the vehicular homicide.
But it was an accident.
Oh no, they said because he was following too close. They're also charging him with following too close. So they're charging him there was 13 to 14 different charges.
That's it was an accident.
They didn't say it was an accident. They said because he was following too close. He wasn't following the law. He caused that accident, which killed them. Which caused another accident.
So wait, he wasn't following the law in terms of
spacing.
In terms of spacing,
correct.
Which, if my memory serves me right, it's for trucks it's 2 car lengths away. For cars, it's 1 car length.
They didn't give you the law there in Georgia for them.
I'm just curious what that law is.
So yeah, so that's what they got him for.
And he wasn't drinking or anything like that.
Nope.
None of that came out. He was just trying to get to his destination a little bit too fast.
Correct.
Did that car hit the brakes or anything like that? Like did they
They believe
or
they were stopped. So
what
the
you
traffic
mean?
had stopped, and so the
Mm.
car had to stop, and then
And he didn't stop fast
correct,
enough. Mm.
and then so it took out the 4 cars ahead of him,
Mm.
and the people
Yeah.
died because that van caught on fire.
Yeah, I saw it was a four car pile up. Mm.
It was in the middle of the day. Yeah, so it
That's
wasn't at
unfortunate.
night or anything.
That's unfortunate. You know, you almost have to ask because I see what was his license and stuff legit.
Legit? Oh, I don't know that, but
Oh.
I would hope he would have legit
Well, I
license
have
to drive
to
a semi.
I have to ask that question because I didn't look at your list tonight, but I obviously in New York they've been giving out CDLs to people illegally.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it was a family thing.
Hmm.
That you know there was 2 sisters working in the DMV that was handing them out, getting money under the table. So that's why I asked, was this work legit?
I don't know. I'll have to do a little bit more investigating on that and let you know. But I don't know what yeah, if his license was legit, if he I was assuming he was just driving it for that particular company he was with
Mm,
when all this stuff happened.
that's unfortunate, man. That
Yeah.
kind of sucks, though. That really does suck.
In Maryland,
Hmm
66-year-old man took his 4-door sedan and drove into a kid's birthday party tent. Actually, this happened last night. Killing 1 person and injuring 13 others.
He did what
Left
again?
the car and took off running.
He did what again?
He drove his car into a tent at a kid's party or tent, and some people were standing outside of it. He drove his car through the people in the tent and
Huh.
left his car there and took off running.
Huh.
And there's video of it off of people's ring cams.
What did they find him?
He turned himself in later. I'm assuming which would have been today.
He was drinking.
They have not released. They
Reports
have not released his.
Well, here's my thing. Here's my thing. Why else would you run
Well,
if
yeah,
you
that's what I'm
if there
saying.
wasn't any sort of illegal substance abuse or substance, right? Whether it was alcohol, drugs, it don't matter. Why else would you take off running?
Well,
Because
yeah,
understand,
I agree.
because understand, it's an accident, right? Like accidents happens. But why else would you do it?
I don't know, but that's. Oof. They don't. They still haven't released his name. Obviously, usually that's one of the first things that come out, especially if this certain thing that happened.
How did they give an age? Because I
He's
wonder.
66.
Oh, an older guy too.
Yeah,
And he took off running.
took off running.
And let me guess, the ring camera see him running.
Yep.
Yeah.
But he turned himself in. They didn't.
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure out how they couldn't figure out who he was by the car.
Yeah, a day later. You know, people drive cars that's not registered to them.
Well, he must have been doing it.
They could have went to the house and he wasn't there, right? Like you just never know. I always wanted to be those detectives.
So you can solve the case.
I do. I like the murder mystery stuff.
We be getting those little games where you got to do
Yeah,
it.
yeah. We when we was in Atlanta, we went to an escape room and it was a murder mystery. It was.
I tried to do the escape room with my kids, my nieces, and my sister.
We got out. We got out, which was pretty cool. But that's pretty old to get out and run, and then come back later on and see what's everybody. Especially because if you think about it, if it was an accident, it's an accident. They may or may not charge you with an accident, right? Most of the times you don't. It's just always something else that causes that charge to occur, right? Because accidents happen, and I think that's the thing. You know, as you said, he took off running. That's a charge, right? Just like that.
Well, yeah,
Right. Whereas if you stay on the scene and cooperate, you know, I lost control or something. You know what I mean? Dang it.
He's still gonna
49
get
scored.
charged.
49 scored. My bad. Um, that's the sucky part, right? Like, so yeah, you might get charged, you might get a ticket, right? But you still have your life. But when you took off a rent, that's a problem.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with him. That guy is in a world of trouble.
Yes, he is.
In the news. The No Kings marches took place this weekend
Mm,
all across the
mm.
country and some places the world. How do you feel about all that's going on with this? And do you feel that by them marching for this No Kings, there's actually going to be an outcome
No,
to changes?
no. You can't march or protest to an administration or against an administration hoping for change, right? That administration
Which is in year one.
10 months ago has already made the decisions on what they're gonna do. You know, all we can do is pray about it, right? And that's the Almighty above to help us, right? But at the end of the day, it's good that it was peaceful. I looked through the news. I didn't see anybody said that there was something crazy that occurred
Mm-hmm.
at any of them. So I guess that's a positive in the right direction, right? Given where we've been with all of these other protesters in this world. Uh, but I don't see a change. I don't think anything's gonna change. I even think at the same time it was happening, our president was doing an interview saying he don't know why they're doing it, right? So it's just we unfortunately we're just in a world of struggle right now.
Mm-hmm.
The only person that can help us at this moment of time is God. And again, just I tell everybody just pray about it and hope that God prevails at the end. But I do think it's just crazy. As I sit back and I look at all of the millions of people that was
Millions.
marching, if we could have
Yeah.
got those millions of people to vote, we probably would have did something different, right? But I'm just saying, like
I
like
mean, they
that.
probably did vote, but you probably got more people that have changed their mind based on the outcomes of the things that they were promised and didn't get. A lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could be right there. But no, I mean, I'm just happy it was peaceful,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I think that's one positive thing in this world that we can talk about because I feel like the last several protests, there was some sort of run over or there was some sort of shooting or something crazy happened.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to see that you've had millions of peoples out protesting from various cities across the country. And there wasn't any craziness that hit the news that was breaking news or anything like that. So
Did you have
it
any
is,
friends or
but
family out there
yeah,
protesting?
I'm pretty sure I probably had some friends or family out there. I'm, definitely friends for sure. And again, it's just I don't I see the purpose of protesting,
Yeah.
but I think this world has protest more than ever over the last 5 years,
Oh yeah.
and there's been no results. It's not like in the 60s and 70s and 50s when Dr. King and stuff was protesting and making a change for the minorities and stuff like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
like all of the protests we're doing now, I'm starting to think that it's just a moneymaker for those organizations.
That are
Uh,
running
bec-
them.
because there's nothing that's occurring. There's no progress being made in anything we do.
Hmm. So off of that, your president
Hmm.
is now looking online and
Mm.
seeing that people that have been in these marches
Mhm.
and posted stuff bad about him on their sites or anything like that could be in trouble.
Mhm.
Now, do you feel that's a lot of bit petty or what?
So he- here's what I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna say it carefully. Um, Free speech is free speech. Period.
Mm-hmm.
I and if there's any companies out there that are terminating employees for our free speech, um, best to believe that there's lawsuits coming. period. I have to say that in a positive way. I don't want to say it in any sort of negative way or whatnot, including our federal government. I mean, what he does with the federal government is on him because he's the president, right? Like, and at the end of the day, he controls the federal government. So them firing people, it's not the same with some of these private sectors that are firing people, like from even the Charlie Kirk situation a month ago or whatnot. Those companies are facing lawsuits because you can't. It may be against your values, but you cannot terminate unless you're an at-will state, which Oregon is an at-will state. You can't terminate someone from having a different value, right, or a different opinion from how you are. So I don't care if I don't care what he's doing. That just sounds like more of me that he's trying to make more of a dictatorship, which is why they was having a No Kings protest because of the dumb things that you may or may have not said, right? Or whatnot. So I mean, that's why the protest is happening right now. Because you're saying dumb stuff, right? If you stop saying dumb stuff, things don't happen, right? But because you're saying dumb stuff, people are tired of it. Like I'm gonna be honest, it's exhausting.
All of it's exhausting.
It's exhausting that some people can't even afford the city that they work in, right? Those things are exhausting, man. Like it's tiring that you work for companies that you can't even shop at, right? I can go on and on this stuff, but it's becoming a bit exhausting, right? Mentally, it's taking a toll on a lot of people, and I think people are being a lot more vocal now. Whether it's the right or wrong thing to do, that's on them. But I will tell people, don't let this president or anybody ruin what you have going for in your life, right? Because I was just talking about the rich and the poor people just recently, and you get a lot of rich people. We was talking about Russell Wilson for an example, that became famous and forgot about where he came from, right? And they was talking about how when he was at the Broncos, no one can actually call him. They had to contact an assistant to get a hold of him, right? That's your ego, right? Like again, don't never let your ego be bigger than where you come from, because a blink of an eye, all it takes is a quick snap, and you're back to where you started. It can be taken away just as fast as you got it. So I don't know, man. I just think honestly, he just need to stay the fuck offline. Period. All right, excuse my language. If I got any of my church people listening, but again, the dude just need to go be the president and stop being petty.
That's what I was about to say,
and I think that's the biggest thing that we're having right now, is that he's so petty. And that's a big problem for us in this country, right? Like that's Americans don't like that, right?
Yeah, because you're the president. Why are you so worried about what people are saying online? Like you got bigger issues to worry about than that. And you're not
we have
worried
war,
about,
we have people starving. We have a shutdown right now, and we're so concerned about protesters and who's out there.
People shouldn't even be flying their planes.
Like
the airline should be grounded. Like, why are you flying with people that don't even want to be at work?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, no, I just think the guy's just too petty. That's how it is. But again, the country has voted the man, and whether it's good, bad, right, or wrong, we have to go through these 3.5 more years with him as our president. Period. Right. So
guys, we are just in year one.
We're 10 months in, man.
This is like teaching the fundamentals.
Yeah.
It's a grind. This is going to be a grind. Oh man, well, let's get out of that stuff into some college football.
Hold up, before you get there, I did see on the news today, like breaking news, the FBI found in Florida, they found a stationary place that was guarded, that had snipers and stuff set up for when he walk off Air Force One, right? And they was just on a routine check, bro. And they literally found that
buys a place.
yeah, they was doing a routine check and they found an area that a bunker area that was facing him directly when he walks off of that plane, man. So I'm gonna be honest, people. I don't care how rude or how much of an asshole someone else. It's not worth you taking a person's life. Period.
No.
So I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's the worst human being on this earth. Like, don't try and be a hero, man. Like your life is going just as fast as you're taking someone else's life, and that's not cool, right? I don't care how much you got disagreements with someone, or whatever the case may be. Like it's not worth trying to take someone out, right? And I'm starting to see that
I
more and
agree.
more, not just our president, but other politicians, right? At the end of the day, like these politicians are human beings before they're politicians. So don't look at them from a politician perspective. Look at them from a human being, man. And we're struggling badly as a country when we want to kill people because we don't agree with them. Like
Yeah,
that is bad, bad,
that is where we're at.
right? That is bad, bad.
I mean, fighting over parking spots,
Yeah.
running people over because remember that old lady from one of our
hmm
stories, ran the
hmm
dude over. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and there was just a road
Hey,
rage
people got
incident.
this much. I'm telling you, that one movie, everybody on that, everybody
Yeah,
right here off the edge,
everybody
right here.
snapped. It's probably why.
I almost had road rage this morning on somebody. I
Probably
was
why I
like,
stay home, man.
I was like, man, you cannot be driving this slow right now.
Probably why I stay
Uh-uh.
home. Yeah, no. This morning I was heading to church and everybody on the freeway, everybody on TV highway, which speed limit is 45 miles an hour. I want to call it out. I want to get a little jumbotron in the back of my truck that just scrolls, that just says you're doing good if you're driving the speed limit. Because everybody was going like 25 this morning in the 45 zone. I was trying to figure out what was happening, but
We must have been
um,
almost in the
I
same traffic.
yeah, I don't know. Like I
That's,
don't get it,
that's
right?
exactly what was happening.
Maybe nobody wanted to get up, and everybody was like, "This is some BS today," right? And they was forced to get up. I don't know,
Oh
but
man.
I was trying to get to church, and I was starting to get a little angry, and I said, "I can't be getting angry going to see the Lord," but yeah.
Whew. All right. Well, I did not know that was going down. That must have just been
Yeah.
breaking news.
Yeah,
It's like now.
yeah, it was tonight. I was listening to ABC News and they was reporting it tonight, and I thought that was
Uh,
just crazy.
do you ever believe like sometimes it just be someone be making that up to make he always be like to make it seem like somebody's always after him? Like, ooh, we just found
Y-
these
You know
snipers on
that
the roof.
it did come from the FBI. I
Okay,
just
but
want to
he is
call
the
it out.
FBI,
It,
by the
it
way.
it did come from the FBI. You know what? It's hard to believe the news today. It's hard to believe every outlet, because you turn to specific outlets and you get different coverage, right?
Hmm.
If you want to know everything negative, everything great about our president, but negative about everything else in the world, you turn to Fox News, right? And you'll hear everything great about the president. And again, keep in mind those people that are on Fox News, those high power people, they're also making a ton of money as well. So
Hmm.
yeah, as you guys are listening to these people, just keep in mind their dollar figure is a lot more higher
To say
than
what they
what
need to say.
than what
Yeah.
yours is. So all of his policies and stuff is benefiting them. So just keep that in mind as people sit there and they listen to these different networks and stuff and they run with it, and stuff like I don't think, and it's the poorest people that are listening to it, right? And they get so
Yeah.
upset and angry about it. But then just keep in mind that those people are benefiting off of it while you're struggling, right? So yeah, no, I thought that was, yeah. No, that sometimes I don't know whether to believe them or not, to be honest with you. But that's what they're reporting. That's what we're
Okay.
doing. We're
Okay.
reporting what they reporting. So
Breaking
so
news.
keep in mind we can say they said it. And then y'all say who said it? I'm gonna say ABC News. Go talk to them. According to our president, he called them fake news. So so
So
maybe
it must not have happened.
it was fake.
Maybe they made it up.
They reported something good and it was fake news. So maybe they did make it up, bro.
Oof, man, he gonna have 3.5. He still got 3 years. You know how much talking
Mhm.
about this for 3 more years?
I
Probably
yeah,
after that too.
I do. I just hope no one gets really hurt, right, in these next 3+ years. Obviously there's been bombing in Venezuela, right? They've been quote unquote taking down the drug cartels on boats.
Yeah. What if?
Um,
How do you know who's
I
on the boat?
I don't know. No one knows, right? Because it's
And
at
they don't
night.
even get a chance to go to jail.
Yeah. So no, we're bombing them. So
Like, why don't you just go arrest them? Like, why are we just blowing the boats up?
apparently we know, right? Like, but then we allow them to get on the boat, allow them to drive into
That's what I
open water, and
mean.
then drop a bomb on them.
Are they just
I,
playing video games over there?
I,
Like, what? I'm
I
trying to
don't
figure this
know.
out.
I don't know because my airstrike never hit on Call of Duty, so I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, people have time to run, so I don't know, man. I just think it's I
You
just
blowing
think
up
it's
those
crazy.
boats, but then they just taking tons of drugs from Mexico right on
Mhm,
over the border.
mhm. Yeah. No, I just hope that
That's
everyone is
interesting.
safe and we have a where I hope we make progress, if that makes sense, right? Like even our government shut down. I know we can talk about that, but I think we're what 22 days in place.
That's craziness. Yeah,
And
we
I
kind of did
think
because I said the FAA.
yeah, and I think the only thing that you hear right now, oh well, he paid our troops, but what about everyone else? And don't get me wrong, I love our military.
Yeah,
My dad's a veteran, right? Like
yeah, but
served his
everybody else
country
still got to make a
proudly.
living too.
I love it, but what
The
about our
lower
essential workers? What about our
federal workers.
TSA peoples? What
Yeah.
about, our federal workers that's here in the United States, right? Like, what about those people? So, I think it's crazy, bro. I just think it's crazy. And DM, if you're listening to this, don't be talking about tell my quarterback what to do. First of all, I've been said he needed to be benched a long time ago, but I'm supporting my administration. So you are listening to this. Don't be sending me text messages talking about what my quarterback need to do and what he don't. I got crazy Kurt in the background waiting. That's a good transition of
Oh,
football right there.
he had a bad game.
He had a bad game, bro.
Huh. I saw the first half. He was doing pretty decent. We'll get into it. College, man. We'll get to the NFL here in a little bit. College football this weekend. I believe you said we had 9 out of the top 25 teams with a loss.
Yep.
Yesterday.
Yep.
What out of those teams was the biggest upset of the weekend?
Miami losing to Louisville at Miami
on a Friday night.
Carson Beck threw 4 interceptions.
Oof.
That's unacceptable.
And they still only lost by what, 3?
They lost by 3, but they were down 10. I mean, they ended up scoring a touchdown and a 2-point conversion towards the end. Okay. Bottom line, you call yourself the number 2 team. And granted, don't get me wrong.
Is the U back?
On a Friday night, top 5 teams always lose. Go back and look at the history of top 5 teams on a Friday night. I think last time it was Oregon at the number 1 seed or something like that. They always lose on a Friday night. ADs, stop scheduling Friday night college games. It don't work.
If you're the underdog,
schedule. If you're the underdogs, definitely want them on a Friday night. That same thing, that same night, Friday night, number 25 Nebraska goes down 24-6 to Minnesota.
2 in 1 night.
It always happens on a Friday night, bro. Them top 25 always goes down, man. Always. So I think the Miami loss was probably the worst because I actually thought they were going to win out. They had the worst schedule left. I thought they was going to win out and meet Georgia Tech in the finals. But it doesn't look like that's the case.
Yeah, because you asked last week, was the U back? Or the week before, one of those weeks.
We did. And no, apparently the U is not back, based on what I saw.
Yeah, the hype was there for a minute, but their hype wasn't too hype. I really feel like they knew that they weren't quite there yet. Because you would have had, like, when they were the U, everybody was going crazy. Everybody.
And that's and you know what? But you know what? One of the things about Miami, and this is why I don't think that they won't be back anytime soon. Miami plays in an NFL stadium. they don't sell out that stadium, right? It is
Mhm.
it is a NFL stadium, right? So there's really not a home field advantage
Mm.
for them, right?
Now they were selling that
Because
thing
yeah,
out before.
well back then no, but back then they was at the Orange Bowl, right,
Okay.
which was their stadium, and that got tore down, so they could put a baseball stadium there. But so they did have their own stadium, right? The Orange Bowl was a little bit different. They were selling that out, but now they're in an NFL stadium, bro.
So you
Like
think they should have a stadium built?
they should, right, to give that college feeling. I do think they need a stadium, right? If you really want to try and get back, because like again, nobody is afraid to go to Miami and play. People are afraid to go to Alabama and play. People are afraid to go to Georgia and play. People are afraid to go to Texas, Lubbock, Texas, and play A&M and stuff. Right? Those are true home field advantages. Ohio State, right?
Yeah.
Where Miami doesn't have that luxury.
Huh. I didn't know they were playing in the Miami Stadium.
Yeah, they don't have that
Interesting.
luxury. So
Interesting.
I think that was crazy. Another big loss. I don't think it was that big of a deal because I even think I picked it on my pick'em this week. Arizona State beat Texas Tech. Arizona State
Yeah, I
was
was gonna say that.
unranked. Texas Tech was undefeated. So that was a big time loss there.
Yeah.
And yeah, the other losses was they was just playing against each other,
Top
right?
teams,
Like
yeah.
yeah, top teams playing
Yeah, but
against
those
each
were
other,
the
which
two
is what
big,
we like to see.
the
But those
Minnesota
were the
one
big
and
ones. Yeah, those were the big ones.
the unranked over ranks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, as you look at some of this stuff, I mean, Alabama rode Tennessee, which is crazy. Oregon made college football history
For Power Four
um,
teams, yeah.
for Power Four, or even hell, you can go back to the old days. I don't think nobody ever ran up 700 and some yards
750 yards
of offense.
on 60
people.
plays.
Yeah, that's good gracious. I mean, you sit there, you look at some of it, and he only threw 20 passes. He
That's
threw
what I
20.
mean.
He was 15 or 20 for 200 yards.
Yeah, so they
My
had
bad, 290.
550.
290, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, insane.
That's unbelievable, bro. Like you can talk about it all you want.
That
That
was
that right
Rutgers that
there.
did that too.
I mean, Rutgers
That
0
wasn't
and 4,
Louisiana. That
0 and
wasn't
4 in the Big
Lafayette.
Ten. No. Where a week ago they couldn't even figure out offense against a Power 10 team. So, yeah. I mean, Vandy beat LSU.
That was a good game.
That was
What
a
was your
big,
best game of the weekend?
of all teams, and I think I watched quite a bit of games. You're gonna laugh at this one. Washington State was a really good game.
I didn't get to watch it, but I saw
Really
they had
good
the
game.
lead.
They
And I was
played
talking to
number 18 Virginia.
Yeah.
They ended up losing by 2. Here's the
Yeah.
thing. I've sat back the last 3 weeks and I've watched Washington State. I watched them a couple weeks ago when they was at Mizzou, I think, or Ole Miss. They was at one of
Ole
them.
Miss. And they had the
Almost
lead
won.
too. At Ole
Almost
Miss.
won that game.
Yeah.
Watched them this weekend. They almost won that
Yeah,
game.
that's what I told HD.
They're hanging
got
on.
2 wins on us. We ain't winning.
Yeah, no, they're hanging. I mean, they are playing really. They're playing good. They just can't find a way to win at the end.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what it is. But
Virginia,
I think that's got positive because now they know they can at least compete
Mhm.
and be in those games. They're just a few
Yeah.
pieces away.
Yeah,
Whereas
no,
us, we're a lot of pieces away.
I mean they had them. I mean they let them score 12 points in the fourth quarter. They got outscored 12-0, right? And that was the difference of the game. But I actually think that was a good game. I didn't get to watch a whole lot because I was with basketball this weekend. I wanted to really sit back and watch my kids, but I did watch that Washington State game. I also watched a little bit of the Georgia game. Obviously, I was getting updates, but then I was able to watch the third and fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So definitely happy that we got that W. And then I watched a little bit of the Oregon State game. Right, Oregon State, they rode Louisiana
No, it's not
Lafayette,
Louisiana Lafayette. It's just Lafayette
whatever. So
out of Pennsylvania.
they're out of Pennsylvania, so it's not
Yeah.
Louisiana then.
Even worse.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah. They played Bucknell.
played the
Holy
Ivy League
Cross.
school. Yeah, they played the Ivy League
exactly.
Lafayette. Okay, they played Ivy League Lafayette. I got you. But they got the dub. They needed the dub after firing their coach. They needed the dub. So
Our school could have got that dub.
hats off to those guys. Another big upset that I didn't call out, Memphis.
Oh yeah, that was
it
too.
Everyone was looking for Memphis to run a table and get into that college football playoffs
Power
because
five,
they're not a Power 4 team,
the 5 spot,
right?
yep.
They're an American, so
But
they
now
was
it's
hoping to
open.
get one of them spots. Now it's open. Yeah, they lost to UAB, bro. UAB was 2-4 going into that game, 0-3 in conference,
On any given Sunday. That's why they play the
and they
game.
was able to win that game. So definitely hats off to them.
That's why they play the game.
Oh no, man, no, that's definitely why they play the game.
Because you never know, man. Like you just never know. Just never know how that turnouts, turnovers,
Yep.
an injury in that game can
Yep.
go this way, that way. One play, 2 plays changes the whole game.
Yeah,
A
we had
holding
another.
call, offside penalty, or something.
We had another firing. We had another
I
firing
was
this
talking
week.
about that. We had college coaches firings, current ones, and what possible ones could be next.
So Napier was fired from Florida.
Mhm.
Was it the right move? I think this was his 4th year.
He was gonna get fired last year if he didn't have that little win streak.
He was. And I think here's what I would tell. Hey, sweetie. Here's what I would tell. Coaches that are quick to jump to these big time schools. When you jump to those big time schools, you must know the expectations immediately, right? They don't want to hear, give me 3 years. They don't want to hear, give me 2 years. They want to win yesterday, right? So,
Yeah.
the Florida job's open now. The Penn State job is open now. 2 big time schools that want to win now, right? So again, just some of you coaches or offensive coordinators or defensive coordinators who has it made at your current program, just note that when you do make that jump, that it's probably going to be all of 2 years.
But do you think that's fair in a coaching world?
In today's world,
you're going in, you got to go ahead and change the identity or culture or character of everybody to fit what you want.
Yeah, it has to be now.
You can't do that.
You have to now. You have to now. You don't have kids for 2 years anymore.
True.
In college sports, so it is a win now. And when you have payrolls of $30 million at Penn State, and I think Florida's around the same amount, it's a win now, right? And everyone knew once NIL came into place that it was going to be you was going to have less tolerance for everything, man. Like everyone knew that, right? But you had to know that as a coach. Now, you get fired, you have some really nice buyouts, right? You had 45 million last week, and I think Napier was like around 15 to 20 million. So, but those schools are eating those money, man. They're eating the money. So I don't want to sit here and say that it's deserving, because I'm a firm believer that those coaches should be given 4 years to turn the program around. But and don't get me wrong, the Penn State coach had like 10 years or something. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And he did turn that program around.
Yeah, he did.
But one of the things that HD told me, and I'll never forget this, when he and I was chatting one day, he was like, as we was in the process of turning around the program that we were at, he was like, here's the thing. You turn those programs around, and fans, people, administration, they don't remember where you were at when you first got there. They only know where you are at now, right? So even though they want to win, right? They didn't realize just short 3 years ago you didn't even win a single game,
correct,
right? And HC's told me that, and I promise you I'll never forget that, because it's one of those things that it's true in all sports, right? It doesn't matter if it's youth, it doesn't matter if it's professional, right? You can come in, and if you turn into a winning team, a winning program, they have less tolerance to lose.
Correct.
And that's crazy, because you can even take Detroit for an example. Just a few years ago with Quinn, they were one of the worst teams in the league.
Yep.
right? And it was just a short few years ago. Now all of a sudden those expectations are high, and if he don't meet them, he's out the door, right?
Yeah.
So I like again, I think they should give grace for some of those coaches, but I also think that fans, administration, and everyone else should also know where you were when that coach took that job to where that coach is currently at. Like Kirby Smart at Georgia, he inherited a Georgia program that was already good. Mark
Mhm.
Ricks just couldn't get us over the hump,
Yep.
right? So he inherited that to get us over the hump. That was his job, right? The Penn State coach, he did not inherit a good program. He built that
Yep.
program, and all of a sudden he built you to a powerhouse. And your response is you want to go somewhere else because he can't do nothing else for you. Like that's not the right response.
In one season of losing 3 games in a row for the first time
Yeah,
ever.
yeah. That's the crazy
Since they
part.
started winning. Since they started
Yeah,
winning.
since he started winning, right?
Right.
Like since he started winning, all of a sudden, oh, we don't care where you were when you did all of this, right? We care about where you are now, right? So
Yeah.
I think that's crazy. It's sad, right? And it's unfortunate, but I guess that's the world we're in now.
Get paid a lot of money to maybe only work 2 years.
Yeah, I kind of want that job. On the side note,
to maybe work 2 years.
I kind of want that opportunity.
So who do you see getting fired here currently, and where do you see some
Mhm.
of these coaches going?
Yeah, I gotta stay in the state of Florida. Florida State coach is in the process of he's probably going to be fired if they lose one more game.
What is the record right now?
I think they just lost to
2.
Stanford last night.
They lost this. Ooh.
They lost to Stanford last night at Stanford. And I think they're 3-4 now. They're 3-4 in
They
the
lost 4 in a
ACC.
row.
Yeah, they've lost 4 in a row since being
Beat
Alabama.
Alabama, yep.
And understand they don't only lose 4 in a row. You lost to Virginia, you lost to Pitt, you lost to Stanford. I'll give you the Miami loss because Miami was the number 3 team at the time you lost to
Mhm.
them, right? But again, you lost to Virginia, you lost to Pitt, you lost to Stanford, you lost to Wake Forest. Now, you play Wake Forest next. You lose those exact same. You lose 3 games to 3 unranked teams. Penn State coach lost to unranked teams, and he was fired after 2 games.
And he was 60 games over 500.
Yeah, he was 60 games over 500. This guy ain't even close to 60 games over 500.
Oh man, shoot!
So I do think he's going to get fired.
He's the next on there.
I do think Miami, the Dolphins. I know we're not in the NFL yet, but I think he's. I think he's going to be fired too. If he's not going to be fired, he actually has to bench Tua because I think he's made.
Yours? Did you see yours when he went in?
It does suck. It does suck. But
I don't think the team's playing for him.
But I feel that he has officially put Tua above the team. And when you put a star player above the team and that star player plays shitty, it's on you at that point, right? So I do think he's put Tua above all players at that point. And he has to fix it.
Wow.
And don't get me wrong, like maybe you need to trade for someone else to put the pressure on them.
I was like, who's gonna trade for Tua?
No, I'm just saying, like bring in someone else.
Let me rewind this.
Right.
I'm not gonna say nobody. I'm pretty sure the Jets would take him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure the Titans would take him.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, there's people that would take him.
But hell, trade for Jameis Winston, trade for Russell Wilson, and I'm not a fan of Russell Wilson, but Jameis Winston tends to play well wherever he goes. That's all I'm gonna say. He tends to play.
Give you 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions.
He tends to play okay, right? He's a typical backup quarterback. But I'm just saying, there's quarterbacks out there. Trade for Shador. I don't know.
They ain't trading him, but yeah.
But I get that they're not. But there's quarterbacks out there that if you don't,
I think the Saints need to make a trade too.
But you also
not working.
But I also want to call out that you drafted Quinn Ewers last year. You just drafted him.
Yeah.
So that's their draft pick, right? So that's their future.
Yeah. Well,
so just keep that in mind. That's their draft pick. That's their future. That's who they drafted. So I know it's funny, but yeah, that's who they drafted. So yeah. And then I don't know if you saw, but Texas struggled this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I should call it out because I think there's been a lot of talk on Manning. But they almost went down.
Yeah, he hanging on down there by a string, barely. He was living the life this summer. Riding around in his nice car out on campus and all that, living a life.
You know, I
Till
think about
reality hit him. He got humbled
I
real
think about a
quick.
couple I think about a couple years ago when they was trying to bench yours. That's how I pronounce his name.
Yep,
For Manning, right? Because they said he was the best one. I think it's proven the opposite way right now.
correct. But he balled out when he subbed it when he got in the games, right?
But because there's no pressure.
Correct.
Like you got to understand, like when you're the backup, there's no pressure.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So all of a sudden he balled out because Texas was up 30, Texas was up 40. So there's no pressure, right?
And the
Like
games he played,
yeah, the games he played,
it was against smaller colleges,
smaller teams.
Yeah.
So it's different, right?
So he went out and had
But now
300 yards.
now when you have to play week in, week out, you got to study the playbook.
Mm-hmm.
You're the guy that's going to take the fall for all your losses. I don't think I think Eli and Peyton's going to need to really sit and talk to him and walk through the mental aspect of the game with him. And I was
think
just
his mental aspect would be great right now.
Yeah,
based on the upbringing.
yeah. And I was just chatting with a teacher that I met at Glencoe the other day, and we was talking about football and stuff. He was talking about he's a big Oregon State fan, but he was also just talking about how Oregon's not playing anybody. And he was like, "Here's the crazy part: the worst team in the SEC can be one of the best teams in other conference."
Yeah.
And then Kentucky, being the worst team in the SEC, almost beat Texas. And I was like, this is exactly what the guy was just talking about.
Yeah.
You got to show up to play the worst teams, where Oregon doesn't have to show up to play freaking
Rutgers,
right?
But
like
that's why Penn State coach got fired, because they lost to Northwestern.
But you know, Northwestern is a team that's going to compete. They're not very good, but they typically compete.
Yeah,
It's the same in basketball as well. Like they're not very good, but those coaches do prepare them to compete. Just like Kentucky coaches, right? Like they're not very good, but they compare them to compete. So I mean, I get it. I still don't understand. You know, you can't be 60 games over 500 and still lose your job.
That's insane.
And keep in mind, of those games that you lost, it was when he first took the job over to rebuild the team.
Yeah.
Over the last 4 or 5 years, the guy only lost 7 games.
And 3 of them this year.
Yeah. So how crazy is that?
I don't think he's upset, but he woke up the next day and looked at his bank account and had $45 million in there. I know he don't get it like that, but still,
he ain't upset. Yeah. I mean, he's bothered because
because of how it was done.
When you're a really good coach, right? That does bother you when you're fired.
Expecting my first 3-game losing streak since we were winning to be fired after 60 games over.
Yeah.
So I can see that. Especially, he said how he found out was 15 minutes before he went to go speak to the kids.
Yeah. And the only words the AD said is, "We're going to make a change."
That's crazy. I've been here for 12 years. We can't even have a sit down conversation.
Yeah. Or you should have talked to me the week before, right? Like you know what I mean? Like leading up to it, there should have been some sort of conversation.
Yeah.
Not we're going through a patch. And you know, or even, hey, I understand what you've done for our program, right? But you know, we think it's time, right? Like there's a way bigger conversation you can have for a coach that actually made Penn State an actual powerhouse team. Now, what are you going to do, right? Because they lost again yesterday, by the way.
I don't know how you're going to replace them.
So that's 4 in a row. So now, are you just going to go in a rebuilding mode now? Because you're no longer a powerhouse.
Because everybody transferred out.
Everybody's finna transfer out.
Go wherever he goes.
Now you got to have new coaches, right? Who has to bring in new players? So, and that coach has to be a big time name. Has to be a big time name.
Yeah.
Right. Like it can't be. Yeah, exactly. It has to be a big time name, right? Like you have to go.
You're not going to hire the dudes that just got fired.
Yeah, that's going to be the key. And then you the one just allow Oregon to come to the Big Ten, right? With the open checkbook, right? Like it didn't matter what conference Oregon was going to go to. Once that open checkbook happened by Phil and Penny, you knew they was going to be good. You go you go pay for the best players to be there. That's important.
You need to put a cap on On to the NFL, and the
Mm,
best team in the NFL right now with the 6-1 record are the Indianapolis Colts,
mhm,
sitting with the best record in the league. Good
mhm,
old Danny Two Dimes.
mhm.
Wow. Did you see this happening at the beginning of the year, and how do you feel about them being number one and 6-1 right now?
So, um, Indiana is always that solid team. You know that it depends on how you look at it. They're always like that X factor team, right? And they've
They
always been that way. They've
didn't
always
have
been
they didn't have
competitive.
a quarterback for the last few years
They
since what's his
they've
name
always
was
been competitive.
retired.
I was very surprised that they, yeah, since Luck retired, they've been on quarterback fishing. I think I was more surprised of who their quarterback is now and the success he's having because
Crazy.
because
He's
that just
balling out.
because that just goes to show right there. All of these quarterbacks in the league are good. It's all about the system they're
System that
in
they're in.
that makes them good. And again, we know they're good because obviously they get
In the
drafted,
NFL. Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And they're the top in college and stuff like that. We get all of that. But then many of them get to the NFL and they're so bad, right? All of the Cleveland quarterbacks in the last 10 years, for an example, every one of them has been kicked out of Cleveland
Yeah.
and found the home, aka Baker Mayfield. And all of a sudden, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, right? Because he found the new home and he found the system that actually works for
Works for
him,
him. Yep.
right? And so I'm not surprised with the Colts being as good as they are because if you go back last year, they was pretty good. They dealt with a lot of injuries. They was pretty good 2 years ago when Jonathan Taylor was MVP or close
Mm-hmm.
to MVP.
Yep.
Um, so I'm not surprised that they're 6-1. I think I'm surprised with how they're getting to where they are, right? Because they are playing really good football, right? They went to the Chargers today and just
Whoop
beat
'em up.
them, and I actually thought the Chargers was gonna be solid this year.
Chargers was top in their division.
Yeah, and they beat them so bad, they ain't even play in the 4th quarter, right? So, so I think I am a little bit, surprised with how they're there,
Mm-hmm.
especially with Daniel Jones, but I'm happy that the kid found the
Well, you
home.
already know who's the winning comeback player of the year. So
Yeah, I'm just happy he found the home because it's amazing how those New York teams are quick to get rid of somebody or quick to say we don't want them
yeah,
there or quick to boo them
I mean, look at
or
Rodgers.
anything like that. And those guys go on to have some success,
Rodgers
right?
leads the Jets.
Where I think New
Goes far
York,
too.
both New York teams, I actually think that they probably need to sit back and chill out for a little bit and watch their team have some success instead of being so quick to get rid of someone.
Well, the Giants are set. They're not getting rid of that dude. He's gonna be there if he can stay from getting hurt.
I
Burke will be
don't
there.
think there's good things about him. There's bad things about him. But I tell you what, he reminds me of an early Baker Mayfield. He
Yeah,
ain't gonna make it very long if he continues that Baker Mayfield situation out.
yeah. The Giants gave one up there. They had the chance to get the win after coming back on Denver. Denver came back. Then they went back and forth in the last minute.
So first and foremost, I want to just take a moment here because this should never happen in the NFL ever. I don't care what your situation is. This should not happen in the NFL.
What happened?
The Giants was up 26-0
Yeah,
in the 4th quarter with 10 minutes to go in the game.
correct. That's why I said
10 You should never give up 33 points in 10 minutes. Bro. Are you hearing this? That's some sort of record.
I didn't.
Like
They didn't say that, but it should be.
you should never 33 points. Understand, this game didn't go into overtime.
No.
10 minutes of football. If you run the ball 3 consecutive times, you burn 3 minutes because there's 40 seconds per possession. So understand, 10 minutes. What the hell? Somebody's fired. Because what the hell were you doing to allow them to score 33 points when you're going to get the ball probably? I mean, they got the ball 4 or 5 times in order to give 33 points up. Keep that in mind, right?
Yeah.
So you could have burnt easily 9 minutes off, easily, right? By just running the ball.
And turnover too.
Yeah, I saw that interception.
Yeah.
But again, he shouldn't have been throwing the ball, Like, right?
Yeah.
Like, so again, just go back to, I think we was watching the Cleveland game as well, and they
Mhm.
had their starter in as well, right?
Yeah, Gabriel's still in the game.
The
Up
fact
31 to
that you
6.
were up that big and you gave up 33 points in 10 minutes of football,
That's why they kept Gabriel in the game, because they didn't want him to come back.
but you gave up 33 points, bro. I mean, that's unacceptable.
I
No.
didn't know they scored that many all in that quarter. I caught
They score they score all
the last
33
5
points.
minutes or something.
They score all 33 points in the fourth quarter.
Interesting.
They got outscored 33-13 in the fourth quarter
That's craziness.
to lose the game by 1.
It was a good game, though. It was a good game. Good fight by the Giants. At least y'all fighting.
Broncos are now 5-2.
Broncos are 5-2.
You know,
Broncos 5-2. Colts 6-1. Niners just won right now, so they're 5-2.
The Giants are fighting, but they're 2-5, 0-4 on the road. I think they started celebrating too early.
They're taking all the wins they can get. They're taking them all. Who else we got over in the NFL going? My Lions play tomorrow.
The Jets. First of all, shout out to the Panthers. Panthers are 4-3 after starting out 0-3. They started out 0-3. They beat my Falcons 31-0, and they've been on a tear since then. So big shout out to them. But the New York Jets is currently sitting at 0-7, 0-5. Who's to blame? I mean, the Fields, I'm pretty sure probably won't out.
What do you mean won't out? Where are you gonna go?
Hell, I mean the kid's been on 2 bad teams. They put him in Chicago.
Sucks. That's what happened. His line
sucks. Both bad teams, right? Which kind of makes him looks like he's this horrible.
Well, they balled out the very first game.
They did. And you thought they was gonna have a good season, but now they 0-7.
Yeah.
0-5 at home. 5 of them 7 games was at home.
So now you only got how many more home games? 2, 3? 3 more home games.
Yeah. And you're almost halfway through the season.
Well, the Jets are the Jets.
How crazy is that? Yeah, I don't get that. Another one, you had your second shutout of the year. You rarely ever see shutouts. But them Falcons was in week 2, and here we are. The Chiefs beat the Raiders 31-0, and the Chiefs pulled all of their starters in the third quarter. What are your thoughts?
They should have played Mahomes some more because I needed them points in fantasy football. But no, I already said at the end of the first quarter he had 100 yards already passing and a touchdown. I said just average this every quarter. He almost did. So I don't know. They're just on a new level all of a sudden. They just hit a gear.
They did hit a gear. And the Raiders. Well, I mean, obviously the Raiders drops to 2-5, 1-3 away.
The Raiders are happy they got rid of Geno. I put it that way.
The Raiders haven't been good for some time. Obviously they were hoping that the move from Oakland to Vegas would change who they are and what they do, their identity. They've also went through 3-4 coaches since they moved to Vegas.
Yeah, quarterbacks too.
Where do the Raiders go from here?
Where do we go? Shoot. The church. Just like you said, they're gonna have to go pray about it. They gotta figure something out. They've tried to do a lot of different things, bringing in a new coaching staff and all that, bringing Geno in, and I don't know what is going through his head right now, but they don't have any receivers. Like, they need some real receivers. Bowers is their only person, and you just double him up, then you got nothing. And if your line's not blocking, you can't run.
They still got Devontae Adams.
No, he ain't. He with the Rams.
Oh, they traded him?
Oh, he been gone.
Dang, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Where the hell I've been? They have no receivers. And the people that they do have aren't really like number 1 receivers. They're more 2-ish, 3s. So they're in a bad situation. They need to make some trades if they're trying to still do something this year. Otherwise, they need to go ahead and just get a high pick.
So Shedeur Sanders was originally talked about going to the Raiders.
Yeah.
Do you think they're regretting not drafting him now
I mean, everybody has regrets on something that they wish they should have done. I don't know
at some
about
point?
I don't know if it was Shador
Mm-hmm.
necessarily or a different
Mm-hmm.
quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I don't. Who's their back? Oh, Pickett.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kenny Pickett.
So he was on the Cleveland. He was on Cleveland, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, so he went up. That's what they got. They went and got Pickett.
Mm.
Yeah, they're just it's a mess. It's gonna take a minute. Going back to them fundamentals. It's gonna
Yeah.
take a minute.
Yeah.
They got to get something right. Like I said, though,
Well,
I think their line needs to get fixed. They need some work on the line, and he doesn't have anybody to throw it to. And if
mhm,
Genty ain't doing what he's supposed to do and getting,
mhm.
making some runs, then they're just gonna
Mhm.
go ahead and tee in on him.
Well, I hope they figure it out. I would love to see Vegas actually do something. One of the games that I haven't talked a lot about was Thursday Night Football.
Oof,
You had Joe Flacco versus Aaron Rodgers, two of the
Mike,
OGs,
that was my league. That was my age group.
both on 40 plus out there
Hey,
representing 33-30.
the
Joe
Unk Bowl.
Flacco got the win at the end. What are
That's
your
what it's called, the
thoughts?
Unk Bowl. It was a good game. They were balling out. I didn't think Flacco still had it like that. I was just making fun of him. I'm like, man, you was just bagging groceries, so you can't be throwing. But apparently, just like you said, it must be like Cleveland just must be sucking the death
Hmm.
out of people. Like I'm just trying to figure this out. Like Flacco was there, took him to some wins, then he went back this year. He's like, nah, this ain't working.
Yeah.
And goes over to Cincinnati, and you know who was the happiest person in the world?
Hmm.
Jamar Chase. He was like, thank you. His
I
brain was
thought
not working.
I thought Flacco played exceptional. I actually think that should also tell Cincinnati that they need to move on and actually get a backup quarterback, right? Because I think that's 2 years in a row, or maybe
Browning, yeah.
two out of 3 years um, where Burrows got hurt and Brownie had to come in, and
Mhm.
they've had no movement and no success.
Correct.
So at some point, you need to move on from them. But definitely hats off and drop a bomb for both Flacco and Rodgers, because what they're
Oh
doing
yeah,
in their
Rodgers
40s,
balled out too.
what they're doing in their 40s. I mean, I actually thought it went back to the old school days with them too,
Yeah.
when they was competing, when one was in Baltimore and one was in Green Bay.
Yep.
But I thought it was an exceptional game Thursday night.
Yeah. Shout out to the Unks.
Yeah, they're big time. Another one today was early morning game, happened in London. The Rams and Jaguars. The Rams just pounded the Jaguars
And they
like
didn't
there
have
was nothing
Puka.
to it.
No Puka.
I also want to call out with the Rams. They left Friday night, something that no other team has done, to go play. They
In
stay with their
London.
normal routine, which most NFL teams fly in Saturday morning.
Mhm.
But again, London's 9 hours ahead of us, so they left Friday night to get there Saturday morning to play Sunday. To only fly back Sunday night.
You know what's
Um,
crazy? Is they got the Vikings playing Thursday night.
what they got to do with it?
No, not the Vikings, but who's playing? Who did the Rams play in London? Jacksonville. The Rams play Thursday night. Yeah, they
When
play Thursday.
this Thursday?
Yeah. Usually they let them play on that next Sunday, so you
Oh
have that.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is a little crazy, but yeah, I mean, they flew 10 hours, got there day before, put the brakes down on them, and they just made Jacksonville just look bad today. I actually don't think Trevor Lawrence is as good as they say. He have
Got that money.
moments.
Got
He
that money.
shows moments, but it seems like since they paid him, he hasn't shown up for them.
It's like
Um,
almost like Tua, like they had no choice but to give him the
yeah,
money, even though he wasn't playing good up to that point. It was like,
yeah.
who else you putting in there?
Travis Hunter, 8 catches, 101 yards receiving, 1
Hey,
touchdown
first
today.
touchdown of his career.
Trevor Lawrence finally found them, which was good. Speaking of, before we jump teams, I just want to talk a moment about Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter got baptized last week, and one of the news anchors said that they didn't feel like he was all in because he decided to get baptized on a Sunday morning before his game.
That's his choice.
What are your thoughts on that?
I don't have a problem with that. He still made his game.
Well, his also response was Sunday is the Lord's Day. It's always been the Lord's Day.
Yeah.
So just because he plays football, doesn't make it right. And I actually think that news anchor is an idiot. And I think they need to walk in the church because their feet must be burning. Because that's just not something like, like you say, he felt that was the right thing to do, right time to do it. And I think they took it to the whole nother
Did
level,
his
talking
coaching
about
staff
he
get
shouldn't have.
upset about it?
No, that's the
Okay, well
crazy
then
thing, right? So there's
why
always
are
somebody
you
on the
bringing that
news.
up as a
Yeah,
guy?
yeah.
Yeah.
There's always somebody in the news, right?
But I
That
mean, you know what? It generated news. So that's what he wanted to do. Is he wanted to bring up another topic of
hmm
something so people can
hmm
talk about on a negative. Like it
Yeah,
didn't affect his game. He had a great game.
yeah, yeah.
So he might want to do it before every game
That's true.
now.
That's true. But I just thought it
Or
was crazy
some
that they
sign
brought
of
that
it.
up.
So wow. Can't do
Yeah, that was
nothing.
horrible.
Can't do
Yeah, no,
nothing.
horrible. Um, the Saints Bears. The Bears are now 4-2. I want to call it out.
Boo. I hate this.
As
I hate it.
well. Definitely shout out to them. Because I still don't think they're going to make the playoffs. But the fact that
4-2 Bears,
they're getting some success in
4-1
6 games
Packers,
in. What are your thoughts?
4-2 Lions. I'm hating
So
it.
are the Bears better or are
Well,
the Saints?
they're obviously better. They've got 4 wins.
But are the Bears better or are the Saints that bad?
The Saints are bad, period. The Saints should be looking for another quarterback. I'm sorry. Rattler, you're done. Just go and snake away.
So the
You
reason why I
back it
asked
up.
that because they're another team that also has won 4 in a row in addition to the Carolina Panthers.
Yep.
And understand that the Bears, all of the teams they've beaten, Cowboys, Raiders, Commanders, Saints, are all mediocre teams. The teams they've lost to is the Lions and Vikings, who are playoff contenders.
Vikings.
Next up for them is the Ravens, Bengals. Are the next 2 games? Do they drop these next 2 games? You think, or
They beat. Where's it?
do they
They're at
split?
home. They're at home for the Baltimore game.
No, they're at Baltimore. They're at
Oh, they're
Cincinnati.
losing the Baltimore game because it's a bye week for Baltimore this week, and what's his name? He'll be back on that game. They're losing that one.
All right.
There's no way he's going to go 1-6. I can't see them going 1-6. Now, if the Bears beat them, then it's a bad year for Lamar.
Yeah, that's true.
Y'all
That
got to
is
make a
true.
trade. Y'all got to do something to get some pieces.
Mhm.
Like I said, they had threw out there to trade for Derrick Henry
Mhm.
to go to New England to be back with his old coach
Mm.
for Stevenson and some trade pieces.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Draft
Man,
picks.
I can't believe we're already at time, man. And I can't believe how fast we've been talking.
But that's what they're oh yeah. Oh dang.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. We stayed a lot on time. Just a couple other shout outs. Patriots are now 5-2, 4-0 on the road.
Yeah.
Super congrats to them. The Browns, Dylan Gabriel, I still don't like him, but again, his first career win
2-5.
in the NFL. So definitely congrats to him. Dolphins, I do think it's about time you move on. We've already talked about that. The Eagles managed to beat the Vikings
Hey, let's
today to
go,
move to
AJ.
5-2.
Yeah.
So shout out to them as well. And I think that's everyone we've covered. We don't cover the Cowgirls on this particular meeting, but they were able to win, get 3-1 against the Commanders. So like Jaden Daniels is officially out again with a hammy injury. So he just got back. This was his first game back, so now he's out again.
I think he rushed himself back.
I actually think it's about time that he take the year off.
Oh, already there?
Year 2. Like hammy's one of those lingering injuries. You can't come back off 2 to 3 weeks of rest. That can take a long time to do, especially a kid his caliber. Because keep in mind, he's a dual threat quarterback. He's not a pocket person, so he's always on the move.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we actually don't have a lot of time for a lot of questions tonight, but let's have you talk about 2 of them. What you got?
If you could be any weather condition, what would you be?
Snow.
Why snow?
Because everyone like it.
Not everybody likes snow.
You know what? I haven't seen a single person, except if you live in the northern states. When you get snow in states that don't get it, kids love it. Kids love it.
You know what everybody loves?
What?
I got sunshine.
Sunshine is good. Yeah, sunshine is good. I agree. But I'd rather be snow though.
Sunshine all day. It make everybody happy.
You get more sunshine than you get snow.
Need that vitamin D. People be in bad moods.
Oh,
so you gotta
man.
get that sunshine. If you could only bring 3 things to a desert island, what would you bring?
Water, my wife, and food.
Oh, look at you.
Everyone else, yeah, legit.
Well,
Hey,
I gotta have one thing for sure. Otherwise, I ain't making it.
what's that?
I can't say it, but I gotta have it. or I'm not making it. Plain and simple. I'm just
All
not gonna
right.
make
Yep. No, we'll give you that one.
it.
Yep.
That's number one.
You know, I choose those three things. Notice I didn't say technology because I can actually go without technology, and I've proved that to myself multiple times. That I can actually go without technology in this world. So, it's like least of my worry. I know if you ask this next gen population, many of them be like my phone, my Xbox. All right, you see what I'm saying? But technology actually don't get me. We got time for one more.
What kind of stuffed animal did you have when you were little?
I didn't really grow up with stuffed animals. I want my first stuffed animal at a fair, and it was a pink, big ass, gigantic bear, and I thought it was the most coolest thing in the world. And I never and I don't know what happened
when you got it.
I was probably 4th or 5th grade, bro. Like I wasn't a stuffed animal kid, man.
Was the size of you?
It was bigger than me.
Oh.
That's how cool it was. It rolled back on the school bus from the state fair with us.
Oh,
and
wow.
then when we got back, my stepdad was like, "You ain't putting that shit in my car." That's my stepdad right there, right? Like God rest his soul, because he passed. But again, that's my stepdad right there. He was like, "That shit ain't going in my car." So I had to
get rid of it.
I got on the back of the truck and somebody dropped me home with the stuffed animal.
Oh, wow.
Because my stepdaddy was an asshole like that.
Wow.
But that was actually pretty funny. But yeah, I just like I wasn't like I don't know, and I hear people talk about some of their childhoods and stuff, and I can say it truthfully, mine wasn't the greatest.
Shoot.
Mom worked 2 jobs, did everything she could do to make sure that we stayed out of trouble, man. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
All right,
my stuffed animal was my dad used to go to the fairs too and win a bunch of those. So I had a huge lion, humongous. Like I used to sleep on that thing. That's how big it was. So you got pictures of me with this lion in the middle of the living room and everything, and wrestling with it. So that's pretty much mine. That's
wow, how the tides have turned, and then you became a Lions fan.
Whoa, look at that!
It was
already
always in your blood. It was always in your blood. All right, who you cutting today, bro?
Well, I am gladly cutting my Oregon State fan base. I don't understand what happened that we decided that we gotta run onto the field like we had just won a championship game, and we just beat Lafayette, aka not even they're Division I school. They are. Okay, shout out to them. They're still Division I school. They had a better record than us too coming in. But come on now, we are not rushing the field. Granted, we did get our first win, but it was against Lafayette. It wasn't like we beat a ranked team or something to get our win. So we don't rush the field for that. So whoever did that you saw on TikTok, shout out to that guy for calling everybody out there too, because they all needed to be cut. I'm with him.
Dang, he definitely did that TikTok. He wasn't happy. Oh man. You know what? I'm gonna do my friends and I'm gonna do my friends a favor. And my family. I'm gonna cut 2 people. First of all, the Dolphins, you're cut. That's bottom line. I ain't a fan of you, right? But given that I'm in a group chat with all of my Dolphin family, and they ain't happy with you, your ass should be cut going up to Cleveland and performing the way that you did. And then I'm gonna do my girl Melissa a favor too. Raiders, your asses is cut too, because that's no excuse in this world for that right there. So I'm gonna do her a favor. I'm cutting people for people now.
Yeah, you might as well cut Tennessee Titans. Go ahead and cut the Jets.
I ain't got nobody to cut this week, so I'm gonna cut on behalf of people. I done had a couple good weeks where ain't nobody pissed me off that they deserve to be cut, so I'm gonna cut them people. So again, I think that's all we got tonight. Let's play that music to get us up out of here.
Hey, we want to thank y'all for listening tonight. Please subscribe and share if you feeling the vibe. Hope our topic of discussion got you thinking right. Okay. We do this for y'all every Sunday night. Have a drink with us. We out!
We out, y'all. Appreciate it.